Okay, got it.
Right. And just to know that Jeffrey did put the PDF with the agenda into the chat. So it's there for you to download and print.
You might want to do it again, Jeff. We had about 6 people join since you did that.
Wait a momento.
Fantastic. I'd like to welcome you all to Division Director, Area Director Training. I have the most phenomenal team of experts here to work with you. And I'm going to start with Michael Osier. Michael, I'm not going to read your entire bio because they have it all, but I do want to give them a sort of a taste of where you were. Michael is known for both in his professional life and in Toastmasters, and recently retired and traveled the world on his retirement journey. He was the assistant director to the Department of Public Health in Riverside County in California. In Toastmasters, he's a past distinguished district director, a member of Toastmasters Board of Directors, and last year was awarded the Presidential Citation at the convention in Nashville. Past Region 10 International Director, is proud to present to D57 today. Along with him is Alicia Curtis, who is 3 times a distinguished Toastmaster, who originally hails from Sydney, Australia. Professionally, she has been a qualified practicing insurance broker for almost 19 years. She was 2 when she started, and also a racehorse groom with one of Sydney's former leading racehorse trainers in Royal Randwick. She joined her first ever Toastmasters Club in 2010 and has skyrocketed from there. She is one of only 3 people in District 70 to achieve the prestigious Area Director of the Year and Division Director of the Year awards. Alicia, what are you doing currently?
I'm in District 119 now as an area director.
Okay, perfect. And
Which is Lower Manhattan and a little bit of New Jersey.
I'm sorry, it's in Lower Manhattan?
Lower Manhattan and a bit of New Jersey.
Ah, okay.
It actually had split up from the district that I'm part of, which is District 46. And so it's right next to where we are.
Aha. Okay, and then we have the fantastic Ashley Harkness. And I can't get to his bio.
It starts with something like
Here
his
we go.
omnipotent wonderfulness, exalted
Yes.
potentate of thee,
Here we go.
rigor of goodness and light, and the American way.
Ashley comes to us as a presenter of secretary training. Interesting. He's actually doing club chartering. He started in 1995, so I think he's the longest term Toastmaster we have. And he wanted to improve his speaking skills, and he is amazing. His talk today is on chartering new clubs. He'll recount several of the lessons he's learned. He's going to use personal as a key to club and member success. He is my go-to man when it comes to all things Toastmasters. And actually, we're going to start with Ashley. And Ashley is going to be talking about establishing and supporting new clubs. Ashley, do you need to be able to screen share?
I'm about to do that right now.
Okay, fantastic.
As it were. Well, first of all, we're establishing a club by chartering the club. And the key to that is basically getting in, getting it done, making sure it happens, and being ready for it. So we're going to go through this very, very quickly. All right. Basically, the Bible for this is the club building guide from Toastmasters. It's the step-by-step book, and we all need to have that and have that for our people and say, look, if you have any questions, you can ask me, or you can read the book, or you can do both. This is free. It's $121. It comes from Toastmasters. It's a great, great thing to have. I use it all the time. Now, let's be honest here. We build clubs. That's what we do in Toastmaster leadership. We build clubs. And to do that, we have to promote any lead we can get, regardless where it comes from, and see if we can't turn that into a club. There's ways to do that. And the best thing is to get in touch with those people and lead, get their appointment, talk to them, tell them about what we've got to offer, and then have a kickoff meeting. It works. It always works. Well, let's take the next step here. Our goal is to get in front of the people who are potential Toastmasters so that we can show them what's going on. But to do this, we need to have help. We have to get some people together, train them so they know what they're going to be doing at the demonstration meetings, have a sample speech of somebody who says how wonderful and what great things happened because they became Toastmasters. I have a 3-part speech that is a seller, seller, seller. You can ask Jeff. He was there when we chartered recently BioPharma. Then make sure that at that demo meeting, you've lined up the next 3 meetings so that the people know that this isn't a fly-by-night thing that isn't going to last, but you're going to be serious about it. And oh, by the way, if you schedule people to speak in the next 3 meetings, they won't bug out because they don't want nobody else to know that they did that. You can establish a name and get the officers, and you're on your way. So that's what the demonstration meeting does in a recap. After the demo meeting, you can't leave until you got the paperwork done, and that's it. So make sure you have everything set up. Make sure however they're going to pay, whoever's going to pay, it's all agreed on and it's ready to go. It doesn't take much time. But once you do that and you put it in the package, put the stamp on it and send it off to Colorado, you're free to go on to the next demonstration meeting, which might be that same day as far as I'm concerned. Let's talk about getting some leads. How many of you are afraid to do a cold call? Oh, nobody's raising their hand. Oh, good, that's great. Because cold calls are the business here. And how do you do it? Well, Michael Notaro published back in 2003 a thing called Corporate Lead Cold Calling Script. It's 3 pages. It is absolutely spectacular. Jeff Young has it right now in his hands. It goes through everything. It absolutely does. And it works so that you don't have to think about anything. You just have to get the lead, get the number, and get past the gatekeeper, which is not a problem because this thing tells you how to do that. All right, we've got that. The cold call, you'll never be afraid of it again. At the meeting, however, what you need to have your people prepare is basically an interest profile. Now, this does 2 things. First, it gathers all of their information so you don't have to go running around writing things down. Make sure they do it in black pen, not pink or green or some other crazy color, because they will if they can. After you've got that information, then we get to the heart of it, which is the questions. Would you like to learn to communicate your ideas clearly and confidently? Improve your self-confidence before a group of people. Learn tactfully to evaluate presentations. Develop skills at listening. Now, all of those, the people see and they check. And every single one of them is why they have to be in Toastmasters. It's called a self-seller. They do that, and then that's cool. And they say, wow, how can I ever, wow. Anything else? Okay, that's a self-seller. Checking any block sells it. And remember, the demo meeting is a sell, sell, sell. I'm sorry, but it is. That's how it is. We're not done yet. Not at all. Because we have a script. And the script is basically everything that we talked about, everything Cassandra Cockrell in 2002 taught us as new members of the district. She was the district director, no, governor. It's a 3-page script. It means you don't have to even think. You can sit there and read it. I do not recommend that, but it can be done. You're going to charter. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? You're going to charter this club in 60 minutes. Start to finish, walking out the door with the paperwork finished, done, ready to go back. 60 minutes. I see some people going, you've got to be kidding. No, ask Jeff. We did it. And you will too. But you need help. So here is a list of the volunteers you need. It's very specific. Who they're going to be. They've got to be enthusiastic and they've got to be on target. And they've got to be trained. You've got to sit down and say, no, you can't drift away from this. This is what we're doing here. This is a disciplined action. Oh, it works. All right. If you're on the phone and they start asking you about things, there's a benefits list. This is not the complete one. It's more. But all of these things are the responses to, well, what have you got to sell? Well, we are very low cost, very economical. We have a decreased turnover guaranteeing for you because your people are going to be happier, blah, blah, blah. So the thing is that you're prepared when you make that cold call. And that is what you need to charter clubs. It'll get you there. Post haste. And oh, by the way, Jeff has all of this. Back to you. Now I should be stopping to share it here.
Fantastic.
Called end the
Ashley, you
show.
succeeded.
You stopped, Ashley, you're good. You stopped.
Yeah, you're good. Any quick questions for Ashley? I know many of you heard the longer version of this in our DECA meeting this morning. Anything specific that you'd like to ask him, since we are a smaller group and easier to get those questions answered?
Ashley, can you ask Jeff to put the 3-page cold call script somewhere so we can all have it?
Yeah, if he doesn't, if he can't find it or doesn't do it, then you can always get it from me. And oh, by the way, this presentation originally was 1 hour.
I will
I
find
think
it
the cold
and put it
call
in the
script
chat.
would be fabulous.
And we also will have a list of the people who are here, and we can send it to them via email. Now, thank you, Ashley, so very, very much. And before we go on to our next presenter, I have a very, very special person here in the room, and I apologize. I neglected to introduce her, and that is Rose Kirkland, who is our regional advisor for Region 1. She is a phenomenal Toastmaster. She's been a tremendous help to me as the PQ, or as the Club Growth Director last year, and now she's coaching me as the PQD. I don't know what we would do without you, Rose, and thank you so very much for being here and sharing this. If you have comments, please do not hesitate to, I don't want to say raise your hand, and we will definitely call on you, because I know you have wisdom that our division directors and our area directors can use. So let's give her a quick round of applause, please.
Thank you so much for the very warm welcome, and welcome everyone, and congratulations on stepping into leadership. Back to you.
Thank you so very, very much. And I believe our next presenter is Alicia Curtis. And Alicia, I have you presenting on effective area council meetings, a very
Fantastic.
important piece.
Excellent. All right, I'll bring my slides up. Yeah. Just confirming everyone can see the screen.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right. Today I'm going to be talking about area council meetings and why they are an important tool and part of your journey as an area director. And I think they are one of the most important parts of being an effective area director. So this is the breakdown of what we'll be learning. What is an area council meeting, and meeting best practices when we come to having an area council meeting. The objectives today from this particular learning are identifying best practices to having effective area council meetings, and of course, developing strategic strategies to be able to conduct those effective area council meetings. So this is a picture back from 2019 when we all lived pre-COVID. I want to take us back to that, because this is how some of you will probably be interacting with your clubs going forward. I just want to get a bit of an understanding and show of hands. How many area directors have clubs meeting in person? Because this is going to be a part of your experience. If I can just get you to raise hands or just type yes in the chat box. Yeah,
Maybe easier to type chat yes in the chat box, maybe?
Yep. Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. So this was pre-COVID. Yep. Okay. Excellent. A lot of people are saying yes, in person only. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of your clubs will either be in person, hybrid, or online. So this is going to depend on how your clubs are meeting and how you want to actually effectively run an area council meeting. Back in 2019, 2020, I served as both the division and area director. This is before they changed to only completing one role per year. That was me at a hotel, the Novotel, right opposite the beach in Brighton Le Sands in Sydney. Things that people really, really love: food, 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 and guess what? More food and drinks and alcohol. So that was one of the effective ways of getting people to attend an area council meeting. But above all, we also did something as well. We did education and learning at our area council meetings. That picture, as you can see, is a group of us sitting there having our lunch together. We spent almost 5 hours that day. I remember it was a Saturday afternoon, 5 hours, sharing, having lunch, having our area council meeting, doing education and training, but also getting to know each other outside of Toastmasters, because this is one of the effective ways of getting to know your members outside of Toastmasters as well. So I just wanted to show that picture because area councils are not meant to be boring, 1 hour, and you're just talking about Toastmasters. They're meant to be fun, exciting, engaging, and about how you can actually make an impact to your area members, and in particular council's lives. So what is an area council meeting? It's literally a gathering of the area director, the club officers, and any other key stakeholders, assistant area directors, PRM of the area, CGD, PQD, they're under the assistant area director phase, or your division or area secretary, with the purpose to facilitate communication, collaboration, and planning across the clubs within the area. Why are area council meetings important? They're about promoting and fostering a sense of community, and it also helps promote the overall development of your area, and furthermore serves as a platform to discuss these items: member retention, growth strategies, pathways educational program, best practices of successful clubs within the area, and of course planning of future events such as Speechcraft, an open house meeting. You may have an open house area meeting, but also the club contest and the area contest. This is where you can actually engage with each other. How does an area council structure? This is how an area council structures. You have the area director. They sit at the top of the, I guess you could say, the pyramid, even though if you flip it around, like we say in Toastmasters, members first, and then you follow the chain reaction. But at the area council meeting, the area director actually sits as the chairman. Their assistant directors, area directors will come in, the program quality director, the club growth director, the public relations manager, and the area secretary, who takes the minutes, the club presidents, the VPEs, and the VPMs. So the three that always sit at the area council: president, VPE, and VPM. They're the voting delegates on behalf of the club when they go to the area council meeting. What are the benefits? These are some of the benefits that you can have at an area council meeting. They provide an opportunity for you as the area director to network within your area and with the clubs and get to know them at a personal level. I got to know all the members in my area back in 2019, 2020 so well that I still go to their meetings, and I actually get invited every single year to their meetings still, for their semi-annuals, for their changeover dinners. In fact, I was invited recently to one of them. They allow for opportunities for the club officers to discuss where their club is at, what their strengths, their weaknesses may be, how they're going to achieve distinguished, and if where extra support and assistance can be provided from the district. And I've just noticed that Jeffrey has put his hand up. Yes, how can I help you, sir?
Quick question. If you do not have the assistant area directors, can you still function as an area council meeting?
Yes, you can, absolutely, because the only ones that have the voting power are the actual chairman themselves, the area director, the VPEs, and the VPMs, and the presidents. They're the actual official voting delegates.
Okay.
You can officially function. We do encourage you to have assistant area directors, because they are the people that can take over you as the coming year as the area director. And that's something that I always encourage: always have an assistant, the heir and the spare, and also making sure that you do have people coming to this, because they might be able to help you with setting up. If you are not available at the area council, they can run the area council meeting for you as well. So that's one of the things I really encourage. One of the other things is, yeah.
I think
anything
good to know.
else?
Thank you.
That's okay. You want to know how you can help the clubs achieve distinguished. It's all about club quality at the area council meeting, and of course we want to build the new clubs. But at the area council meeting, we want you to know about club quality, which is the second part of our district mission, where we build new clubs but support all clubs in achieving excellence. This is about supporting all the clubs in achieving excellence. And if there's extra support that's needed, how can we provide assistance from the district? So remember, at the area council meeting, you're representing the district. You are the district. Remember, you've got the area director. There's the area director as the district. The members serve at the club. You are the liaison between district and club. So how can you actually support them? If the club is struggling and has less than 12 members, you may want to support them with a club coach, or you may want to say to one of the stronger clubs in the area, maybe one of the ones that has charter strength that's always distinguished, can you please send some of your members to the other club which is struggling to cross-pollinate and to provide assistance? These are some of the ways that you can actually help at the area council meeting. It allows you to actually explain your upcoming area director visit report. A lot of clubs go through this process every single year. They're like, okay, we're going to get an area council meeting. We're going to have a visit from the area director. What are they actually doing? And later on, I'll show you the good and the not so good versions of an area director report, but letting them know exactly what your visit's about and how you plan to visit and why it's going to be useful to the club. Remember, the area director report is a tool to help the clubs improve on becoming the next best version of themselves. It's not there to just tick a box and to make sure that they just receive the piece of paperwork and that you're just there to get a DTM. It's actually showing that you care about the members and you care about the club and that you care about how they can continue to improve. It's about club quality and how you can be, as an area director, effective to be excellent in your position as well. Another thing is it's there to discuss the upcoming events, open house meetings, speechcraft courses, youth leadership programs. I really do want to strongly encourage Gavel. Maybe you want to start a Gavel club because there may be a lot of kids within the area. From a lot of the members may have kids and they might want to start a Gavel club. Or most importantly, the speech contest. How can we actually share members amongst the clubs, especially the struggling clubs who may need assistance and support on the night of their club contests? So let's discuss what an area council meeting agenda actually looks like. So I will actually share the screen and show you how I run area council meetings. I run mine once a month. My area, my division council meetings were actually weekly. We won't go, I don't expect you to have weekly meetings. So I don't expect you to have monthly meetings, but I will share how I run my council meetings. So this is how the area council meeting is structured. We do a welcome and an opening. We read out the club and the district mission so that we know that. We announce who is here and who are the absentees. And then we go into the club check-in. We get either the president, it depends on who's actually at the meeting, to give the strengths and also the challenges that they're actually having for that particular year. We look at club success planning, and it's all about, firstly, how do we get the clubs distinguished? What can we actually do to achieve this mission of excellence and quality and to help the district get distinguished? Educational goals, how many are going to come from the clubs? What are we expecting for the year? And this comes around the success plan, and hopefully someone will mention the club success plan, and this will also come in with the area success plan. You want to know what educational goals each of the clubs are going to achieve. Admin goals. So you want to see club officer training. This is something that you really need to hone in, especially for the next couple of weeks. We've only got about 7 or 8 weeks now to go until the end of August. We want to make sure that club officer training is at the top of the list. It is a priority at the moment, minimum of 4, but we want all 7 officers trained, because a club that has 7 officers usually is the one that achieves President's Distinguished, and it has been proven in the past. Membership goals. How are we actually going to tick the box? A lot of people miss out on getting distinguished, not because of the educational goals, not because of the admin goals, but the membership goals. This is one of the most important ones. How are we actually going to increase our membership? What are we doing? What is the VPPR and the VPM doing to increase that? And of course, the activities. What else are you doing to meet the district mission of club quality? Are we having an open house for PR to get those new members through? Are we doing speechcraft to try and get the new members? So what are we actually doing? What are the action items? Club officer training. I always believe this is important. Who's been? What did they find about it? Feedback, so that we can take, as the area director, we can take it back to our division director and also to the trio, and to say how we can improve. I'm sure Linda would appreciate the feedback from the area directors on how to improve the club officer training. That's her role as the dean of the district. She wants to know how her team can improve so that she can provide the best quality training in her district and also in the world. And then you just do an area update. I say it's always important to provide an update from the district if there's not like the division or director. Sometimes one of the trio members might want to come and deliver that. But if they're not available, what is actually happening in the district? Are there events happening? When are the contests happening? What is actually happening outside of the walls of our club, outside of the area as well? It's always good to communicate. And then, of course, you do a recap and you do discussion. So when's the next meeting? How are we actually going to deliver on the meeting? I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to ask, does anyone have any questions in regards to area council meetings? Michael, of course you do.
So Alicia, I might have missed this. I know you expect a lot of them. What's required and what should be our goal?
Okay, the minimum requirement, and this is if you're looking to achieve the absolute minimum requirement, you need to have at least 2 area councils a year. I think that is not enough because you're not going to get a lot done within two meetings. If you're going to do one in July and then you end up having one in May, what are you going to achieve between July and May? You're not going to have a lot of communication between the clubs. I would suggest add an absolute minimum 4, 1 a quarter. That way, you know exactly, so you can set yourself up for first. This is how the year is going to be structured. Then you've got your second one. Here are how we're going to actually get before the Christmas period, the Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year period, so that we also know what the contests are, because you're going to have details on the contests after probably August when the trio come back from district leader and district leader training at the convention, and you would have already voted on at the DECM what contests are going to be run. And then you'd have for the new year, probably January or probably February, what are, the educational membership goals that we really need to focus on, because you want to finish strong. You want to come home really strong, and then maybe May to finalize the year and try and find your successor between January and June of next year. That's my suggestion as a very basic format.
Right,
Thank
and
you
I
for
know
the question.
Alicia didn't say this, but I know she meant to. You don't have to do this by yourself.
No,
There's plenty of people that have done it. Invite your division director, invite Jeff or Linda, or even Sally, and they'll be happy to attend some of them, because this is so important what you're doing, because the key is members succeeding at the clubs.
yep. Yeah, I've got my first area council meeting next week. We've got the district director coming, and we've also got the club growth director coming, and the division director, because they want to see, because it's something that's common in this particular district. So I said, okay, that's fine. You guys can come and you guys can speak for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes each. So I'm sure Linda would love to attend the area council meetings to know exactly what is happening at the area level, because at her position, and I know, having been a program quality director, you just can't physically go to every single club. It's a full-time position in itself. I mean, if you're spending every single day at Toastmasters at every single club in your district, and you've got 100+ clubs, you're not going to get the required position done. So you're not going to be doing what you need to do. But being able to go to an area council meeting and you're able to group the clubs into that cluster, it makes it a lot easier to attend. And Jeffrey would also like to go, so Jeff likes to go as well, and I know Sally would love to go as well. She's not here with us today. She did say last year when she was on the call, she likes to go to the area council meetings. They like to know, because you are the eyes and the ears of the district. Remember, you are the heartbeat between member, club, and the district, between the district and Toastmasters International. Without you, you wouldn't, this district would not be a success. That's the main thing. That's the whole thing. Area directors are the reason why a district is usually successful, because they are there on the ground, boots and all, trying to get things done. And you are, in my eyes, the most important position at a district level, because you're doing what the others can't do, because they just can't function without you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I had a question.
Yes, Anne-Marie. Yep.
Yeah, about how you give notice and get agreement to dates.
Okay.
Because not
Yeah.
everybody can be in the room at the same time. How do you
Yep.
schedule it?
Absolutely. So I give them usually 3 or 4 dates, which work with me because you've got to be realistic for yourself as well. And the majority always has to rule. The majority has to rule. And if they say X amount date, say if it's like Saturday at 3 p.m. and more than 50% say that's the rule, the 50% rule. If it's more than 50%, that's the day. I would suggest if you're on Zoom, record the meeting because that way the other people who missed out can still be a part of it and still provide their feedback. They can watch the recording and they can see exactly what is needed. Go for the majority. Give them probably 3 to 4 dates and times. Yes, Jill.
Hi, Alicia. I just wanted to know, with the majority looks like of our clubs being either hybrid or virtual,
Yep.
how do we get our club presidents and get our clubs to participate? Would you suggest that we go ahead and do a virtual? Because like you say, they like
Yeah.
food, they like drink, they like all that other stuff. But is there any creative ideas for bringing people together virtually?
Absolutely. You've got to have a good speaker. You have to have a keynote educational speaker. And that is what got me across the line. I held a weekly council meeting. We had a keynote speaker at every single weekly council meeting. I've already got all 12 of my educational speakers lined up for this year. For area council, I can give you a list of some of the people that we're using, and they just can't be just everyday people. They have to have some sort of experience or educational experience. I get accredited speakers, world champions of public speaking, past international directors, past international presidents. You've really got to go for the creme de la crop. That will attract, and that will be because people are going to start talking, and you want the people to start talking, and then it sort of creates the domino effect. We were having like 30 or 40 people showing up to the meetings because they wanted to be a part of it. They're like, oh, who's the next speaker? So I would actually keep it also a secret. You want to have that sort of that suspense. Oh, who's going to be the next speaker? So that's one of the things, and that's one of the tips. You're lucky you've got a past international president, and you've also got a past international director in your district. Actually, you've got a few. You've got Greg Scott, you've got Michael Lozier, and you've also got Michael Notaro. Use them. And they would love to be used greatly. I'm just putting it out there. Sorry, Michael, but I'm just putting it out there. Use these guys. There's other people over in District 4. I think there's a guy over in District 4. I can't remember his name is. As also up in District 7. You've got, what's the guy who was in District 7, Michael, the past international president? I can see him right now.
You're talking about in Founders?
District 7,
100?
the Oregon. Rose, who's the past international president up in District 7? Oh, past
international president or past
Director.
district director?
President. Oh, what's his name? I can see him right now. He was on the board. I think he was before
You
Michael
mean Notaro?
No, not Notaro. I'll think about his
Notaro.
name. No,
Alright,
districts. Yeah,
We'll come up with it.
we'll work it out. But you want to have someone, even Rose, I'm sure would be more than happy to, as a region advisor, they can go as well. We did have one of the region advisors come to one of ours. They like to be included in these things. So that's one of the things I would suggest. Does that help, Jill?
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm kind of getting confused because we're mixing in district meetings versus area director council. And I just want to be real clear. Are we talking about how do we put together an area council? I'm an area director. Are you speaking to me to put together an area director council?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to be clear that I'm on the correct path here. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Jill, it's an area council meeting. You're the area director. You don't invite other area directors. You invite your club leaders for your 4 clubs or 4 to 6 clubs.
Perfect. That's what
then you can also invite Jeff and Linda and Sally, and they can give a talk as well. But it's totally an area event, it's not a district event per se, though. Everything you do as an area director's district, and you can invite anybody you want, but it's focused on your clubs. Looks like Aaron had a question.
Yeah, Aaron.
Yes. So as an area director, right? I if we try to open the area council, so what the fund and what the finance and how we can report that and how we can submit our fund if we have the on-site meeting for renting a room or renting the council area, whatever it is, and what did the fund we had to be submitted, who we get in charge for that.
You don't have to pay for if you're sitting down at a restaurant, other than having like food, you don't have to pay for a venue hire. I would suggest going to a cafe, a local cafe where everyone agrees and that has, you know, food that caters for all, especially for people who may have need to be vegetarian, vegan, etc. But make it somewhere that's light, that's engaging, where you can actually hear each other, because you don't want to have loud noise like always corrupting in the background of you. But have somewhere where you can that you can actually have, I guess, what we call coffee chat or coffee talk, where you can actually sit down, have food, have a drink, have a cup of coffee, and really just be able to be friendly with each other and to be able to talk beyond Toastmasters as well. That's what we suggest.
Right. So the question, the other question that, so it based upon from the coffee quick talk. So how can you present with the agenda what the goal you want to be success and at your area, and then how to convince the other club have to follow the path that you want to be achieved.
So
with
I'm a bit confused
our
with the question.
material, yes, without the material, right? When you asking the club at an area council, right? The council meeting. So you have to bring out agenda to start with the meeting, so people
Yep.
can join with it. I know you can able to hold at the location for coffee chats or whatever. But the thing is how you can present that information, what kind of material you can able to deliver it to, and how they can observe that information, bring to their club to be achievement for success.
So as I said, follow the agenda and just completely structure the meeting and lead the meeting. That's what I would suggest, because you can successfully run area council meetings at coffee shops. I've seen it many years over the past. I think Michael, Linda, I'm sure others who have been here, Jeffrey, Jeff.
We
you've
did them at a
probably-
Mexican restaurant. Everyone could afford it. It worked out great.
Yeah. I've even been to McDonald's, and we okay, I shouldn't bring McDonald's up all the time. But
Again,
we
thank you.
we went to
Lisa,
McDonald's,
Jeff-
KFC. Yeah, Jeff.
Jeffrey had a question, and then we need to move on.
Okay, just kind of to address the question you didn't ask, Aaron, is right now, we haven't done the budget for the year yet. We're working on it. But because the previous years have been all virtual, we currently do not have a rollover budget for in-person area meetings. We're trying to at least put some money in for contests to start with, but we don't even know how much money we're going to have yet. And also, as a side suggestion, Mountain Mike pizzas all over the area have a back room they can usually let you reserve. So you're on your own for running your area council meetings. And as far as the content goes, as Alicia says, the content is up to you, whatever you want to set as your agenda. That make sense? Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else have any lasting questions? I'll take one or two more, and then we have to move on.
I have a question, and I apologize if I'm supposed to know this. I understand the area director has special access once we've logged into toastmasters.org. Back when I was an area governor, that was not a thing that we had access to. Are we going to see a sample of that today?
No, because it's actually locked off at the moment until the end of year reports, but they'll
I
probably
can share
train-
mine maybe.
It's probably not available
Oh.
for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, okay. I understand end of year there, it's kind of locked down. And I imagine late July or early August, it'll open up. And then where can I look to learn what I can find there?
Well,
Or do I
we're
just
gonna do the
poke around? I'm good with just poking around.
Yeah, we're going to do the dashboard. That's what I'm presenting
You're going to present the dashboard.
on the dashboard and how to poke around.
Oh, that's okay.
Jeff, did you want to show them exactly what they might see once they get access in the next two
No, you
weeks?
can't show it. There's nothing there.
Working on it, Lou.
Yeah, but there's like he can go in and see like the very basics of what's needed.
We're gonna do the dashboard in a minute. Alicia, in a
Okay.
minute.
All right, I'll hand over to Linda. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, everyone.
Thank you so very much. As always, excellent information and something that we as leaders should be considering. We need, I believe we need to connect more with our cohorts and the folks that are on our team and that kind of thing, and rather than leaving them sort of in the dark doing their thing. So thank you again very, very much. Next, we have Michael Ozier. And Michael, you're going to deal with the Toastmasters International dashboards as well as distinguished areas and divisions.
There we go. Everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Unlike in real life, in Toastmasters, you have we give you set goals and you can actually measure them. And the success is based on this. And having been a philosophy major and worked in an environment that had, I would call wishy-washy goals you never could figure out, now it's so fun to actually have real goals. Well, let's talk about the most important piece, and we alluded to it, but remember, Toastmasters has a core set of values. And if you're ever confused about what to do and there's no policy, or people ask you impossible questions and want you to break rules, remember that our values include our integrity, respect, service, and excellence. If you're confused, go back to these and then make sure, can you show integrity by doing it? Are you respecting your members and leaders? Are you providing service to the members? And you're doing it at a high level. I hear all the time, they'll say, but I don't understand section 4.2.3.4 doesn't mention X. It's okay, go back to the core values, because even though there's hundreds and hundreds of pages of policies and procedures, sometimes you just have to go back and do the right thing. Now, Toastmasters, the club has a mission, the district has a mission. I'll show you those in a second. But Toastmasters International has its own mission, and that's we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. And everything you do should be around these activities. And to me, that's very powerful. We empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Now, the district has very specific mission. You may not care, your clubs absolutely don't care, but we do care. As area directors, you have to care. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. So the build new clubs, you heard from Ashley, he's got more to share. We may have to do another training at the DECM or maybe at part 2 of this area director training. And all clubs in achieving excellence, and I have a slide on clubs don't always know what to do. Obviously, the clubs I belong to, the Steamed 88, they know what to do, but many, many clubs have no idea what they need to do to be considered successful. And it's not hard, we just have to show them. And then I know I'm not going to go over the whole club mission. I can give a 2-hour talk just on the club mission. But remember, clubs need to focus on empowering individuals to develop communication and leadership skills. There you have it. So this is my background for what we're going to talk about, because I'm going to hear all you care about is the numbers. No, that's certainly not true. So if you're a division director, and we have, I think we have, how many do we have? 5 or 6, Jeffrey? How many do we have?
We have 6 divisions.
6 divisions. So as a division director, it's very clear what you need to be distinguished. And this is the part 1. No net loss. So if you're a division and you have 20 clubs, you have to end the year with 20 or more clubs. You'll probably lose 1 or 2, but then maybe you can start 1 or 2. It's a yin and yang kind of piece. But in addition, within your own division, 40% of your clubs need to be distinguished. And that gets you to the distinguished. So clubs are distinguished, you make it. And there's different levels. So if you get to 50%, then you're a president's distinguished division. if, again, you have to add one more club. And I'll show you on the dashboard, because they're still showing the year that ended in June, and I can show you how that shows up. So understand that you have an important role, because you can explain to the clubs what it means to be a successful club. It isn't necessarily the numbers, but a club that has enough members and that people are getting educationals, those are the kind of clubs that should be in Toastmasters. This should be part 2. So for areas, same thing, no net club loss. So areas have between 4 and 6 clubs. We might have a few with 3, but basically between 4 and 6 clubs. In addition, as an area director, you have to do club visit reports. Alicia will do club reports later, but it's critical that you do these. And in the district last year, the areas did a pretty good job. I think about 90% of the areas directors did their visit reports. You have to do at least 75% twice. One by November 30th, one by May 31st. But please do 100%, and we can talk later. If you have a problem, we can talk to you how to do this. It's all online. Yes, it takes a bit of time to do them, but the beauty of these reports is it can help you, it helps the club, it helps the district be more successful, so they can give the resources they need to help the clubs be successful. Part 2, same thing. Within your area, your distinguished clubs must be at least 50%. If you have 4 clubs in your area, 2 of your clubs have to be distinguished. And if you want to be president's distinguished, again, half your club's distinguished and add another club. And it's all very possible for all this, for all of you, because Ashley gave you step 1, and we'll give you more the next training on what it takes. Now, what does it mean to be a distinguished club program that people get confused? That these clubs, did I miss it? Yeah. The clubs get confused. They have to have either 20 members or a growth of 5. Now, last year and the year before, they only had to grow by 3 members. We don't know the actual number yet. So Toastmasters hasn't announced what it will be for the next year, but somewhere between 3 and 5 members additional. That's new, due, or reinstating. Clubs get confused on this. And again, if they understand that they need 20 members or whatever their base is, we don't have the base numbers yet. Those should come out in about 2 weeks. I'm not going to go over the distinguished club educationals and everything that's required, because that's a whole talk in itself. But basically, the clubs need to get 3 to 5 of these done. Level 1s, level 2s, you can see this. And you pretty much need to add about 4 new members every year, because people come and people go. In addition, make sure that your people, the club officers, are trained at the TLIs or twice a year. I think we're still have ongoing June, July, August, and then again in that December period. And we missed this one already, but I'm hoping everyone did it. Payment, dues paid on time, and submission of the club officer list by June 30th. So some people get confused on what they should present to the club. Alicia's going to talk about a club visit, but I just want to make one slide here. 1, in January, you can start talking about contests. Not till then. In September, there's a business meeting, and in May, there's a conference for the annual business meeting, and then we have the one in September where we approve the budget. The district will tell you when those things are, and we need a quorum. So we need a lot of those district leaders, the president and the VPE, to show up to those events. And then, of course, any trainings we have. And the current one that starts August 1st for our membership campaign, where you can get recognized, is adding, I don't even know, I think it's 5 members for Smedley, August 1st through September 30th. And there's a lot of materials and public relations on that. And you can talk about the Distinguished Club program. When you're there, you're going to ask them, how are you bringing in new members? How are you keeping members? Again, Alicia's going to go in more detail on this. So as an area and division directors, make sure the club visits happen and the club visit reports are done. And Alicia's going to show you how to do that. Now, you're only required to visit the clubs once in the first half and once in the second half. That's nowhere near enough. I'd love to see the area directors come 2 or 3 times each time, but at least twice. 3 would be even better. Make sure the clubs understand what's needed and that you share information because they want to see you come. You're not the police, but you can share important information that'll help them. And I'll send this out so you have my contact information. Now, is there anything I have to, are there any chats I need to look at so people get, okay. Now, Alicia, I need your help. Will you bring up the website dashboard?
Dashboards?
The dashboard. for
Yeah,
the district?
absolutely. Yeah, I'll do that. There we go.
Can you do the big one?
That one?
No, for the whole
Oh,
world of
just-
Toastmasters.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, so this is every region, every district, and every club. So if you cared, District 57 is there in Region 1. The next from the bottom. So I'm going to show you 57 and then, well, yeah, all the way down here. So you really care about our district, but I'm also going to show you District 100 before we go. So let's click on 57. Now, Leisha, you'll put in the chat how to get to this page, that first page, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the first, when you click on District 57, this comes up. You'll see at the top, these reports are not yet final. They'll be final in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. So the district started the year out with 116 clubs, and they ended with 110. To be distinguished, to be recognized, they needed to have the 116. So close. So this year, we have to get 110, and we're all part of making that happen. So there's 3 measurements for the district. The middle one is membership payments, and you see that they got to 4,280 right there. But to be distinguished, they needed 4,305. I mean, I don't know about you. How many is that? That's so close, right? Is that 25 payments?
Mhm.
Now they're
Yeah.
still processing payments, so maybe we'll make that distinguished level for payments, and that shows a lot. Then the final column there is distinguished clubs. So out of 116, you need 40%, that's 47, we're at 44. We might make that. Last year, 57 did make it on distinguished clubs, and our district director, who was program quality the year before, got to go on stage and get a plaque. It was fantastic. So that's the overall district. Now, I always want to go in the club I'm in, so scroll, esteemed 88, I don't know what division, what division is that, guys? C or D?
I think it's C, isn't it?
C1 maybe? Hold on.
What was the question?
Right.
88. D1?
Oh, there it is in D.
Open, yeah, they're D.
So this is the club that I'm in. So you can see in that middle membership, we started the year with 13 members and we ended with 16. Wow. So we met that number. And how many goals did we have? We needed 5 when we got 5. My club was distinguished. That was fantastic. Now you can look this for every club once you're assigned the areas. You'll see, scroll down a little bit, you'll see each club will tell you all this here. So what did they get? They got, looks like they got a distinguished Toastmaster and a level 4 or 5. There it is. Those are 2 check marks, 2 ticks. They added 4 new members. That's a tick. All the club officers trained. It looks like we trained 7 in the one round and 6 in the other, and we turned everything in on time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most clubs do not ever see this page. And so as you saw, Alicia will send out the link. You click on District 57, and you'll be
Can
able to
I
click
ask a
area.
question?
Sure, Renee.
Am I understanding that you are saying that the regular member cannot see this?
They all can see it. They just don't
Yeah.
know how to do it.
Anyone can see. They just
Oh,
know about
okay,
it.
okay, good, because I was gonna say, oh yeah, I see this even when I don't log in. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
But my point here is very few people look.
Right, I
Yeah,
get
because
it. You're
we teach
right.
people how
I
to look.
understand. Thank you.
And I hear from clubs all the time, Toastmasters is messed up. They didn't do XYZ. I should have this. And when you look, they didn't do something that they had to do, right? The member's not showing up. So then they can actually figure out what happened here.
Right.
So, but your job may be to show them, because I'd say that most club presidents don't know how to get to this page. So you can be hugely helpful, Renee, for them.
Yep, got it.
So now go to the go to the area page. Go back to the, see where it says there, it says district performance, division area, and club performance. See the second one? Put your cursor over there.
So up the top here.
Yeah, right there where it says division and area performance. This is the key. It's here. And I assume I trained all the area directors last year in 57 to do this. So you guys, this is where it is. You click there. And then here you'll see that for there's 6 divisions. 1 was select. This is for last year. That we had 23 areas. 4 were distinguished. 1 was select distinguished. Hold on. Right. And of all the clubs, there you go. There's your information. So which division was, scroll down. I don't know which division was
Select distinguished.
distinguished. Yeah.
Division A. Division A.
No, they're not. Oh, they are. Okay.
Yes,
So
that was
Division
us.
A was select distinguished. So what did they do? Well, you can see area A1 had two clubs that were distinguished.
If you scroll down
And
to
then they
area
added-
A29, most of it's there,
Right, you'll see, look,
and 30, 35.
right. So you can see how well they did. So you can see which area 29 was distinguished, area 30, whatever that is, 38, 35.
29
and
and
you-
35.
Right. And you can see here, if you look at 29, it'll tell you, did they get enough people renewed in October and April? Did they do the club visit reports and how many members they have to date and how many? So this solves so that kind of information is available to everyone. You don't even have to log in. And I find this hugely helpful for you before you do your visit. You learn a lot of information, right? And then click on one of these clubs that's distinguished, like
That's a cool one.
presidents. Wow. Right, and you can see then they can tell you, look at the tick marks. I checked off everything. So I found that hugely helpful. Now, Alicia, I'm going to show you another trick. Over in the left column, there's daily reports, club growth report, and additional reports. Go to the additional reports. This is really deep in, and scroll down to 57. This is another way of looking at the same information. There we are, districts 57. Now this is a little off because they said you needed 118. That's the old system, but you'll see here, it tells you how did 57 do in the world, right? They got 93% of the clubs. They got 98.9% of the member payments and 93.6% of the number of distinguished clubs they need. So in the world of Toastmasters, they rank 47, 60, and 73rd. Pretty darn good. Scroll down a little bit, Alicia. A little further here. Do they show here we are. Okay. So here's the report that the district sees. And again, you can all see this. You can see why was Division A successful. They had 20 clubs. They needed 20 clubs to pay. They got 23. They needed 8 distinguished clubs. They got 9. Right? And you can just see through there. And then scroll down a little bit further. These are all the areas. Whoop, and you'll see that I don't know who was in A1 or E23 or F18, but they didn't do their club report. Ooh, but look how well you area directors did. Almost all of you did all your reports both times. And that's impressive. And this is what we look at. This gets updated it's 1 day behind usually. I don't want to go any further, Alicia.
Okay.
That's enough. And this is tricky to find, but we can help you find it, but it's always there. It's under additional reports. Go back to the main page there. Now, Renee, we didn't log in. So when you log in, you'll be able to go to the district leader lineup. And when you click there, you'll be able to get the area director report form. That's on it. Alicia, go back to the main.
Hang on, I'll just go stop share because it's got so many.
Okay.
Okay.
You might have to log in, Alicia. You might have to go to the Toastmasters main page.
Okay.
Michael,
Yeah.
are you saying it would be in that left hand? I know it's not there right now. That's not what we're looking at, but I know you know this well enough to be able to say, answer me
Oh, so-
without seeing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so Alicia,
Is
we're
it,
gonna do it right here. We'll show you right now. Alicia.
Okay.
Yeah, so Alicia's logged in. Scroll down, Alicia.
I'm on the main page. I don't use
Yeah,
this.
but you're logged in,
Yep.
so that's good.
Yep.
Scroll down.
So is it on my home? Yep.
Yep, slow down. Go. Okay, so you'll see this is once you log in, you'll see Basecamp, Learning Hub, Achievement. Nope, go to the next one. Annual business meeting, no. Go a little further right here, Leadership Central. Right, club officers go to Club Central. You as area directors will go on District Central. Will anything come up, Alicia?
District Central
Not
is
that-
up and
no.
we will.
I want District Central.
Okay.
So when you're an area director, you go to District Central, and then you'll see area director of reports, visit reports.
No,
I don't-
that's no. It's probably just easier just to use dashboards.toastmasters.org for them to save that. This is a bit too convoluted and a little bit
Right,
too
but
long.
click on the area visit reports.
Yeah,
That's
there.
no,
I don't know
that's
if
where
anything-
I submit the reports, where we submit the area.
Yeah, but right now it
visit
shows
reports.
the how much of it have been filled in, which is none, but it'll show you at least the controls. I think that's what they want you to do.
So right there, click
Oh.
on that.
Okay.
Right. So this is where you'll go, and it shouldn't come up now. There shouldn't be any way you have make a report, but this is where you'll go. Once it's active, I think Jeff and Linda should call another session and walk you through this, but this is where it is. So do it one more time, go back to the homepage here, Alicia.
Yep. So I'll click on my home. So where it comes from the beginning. Scroll down.
When you log in, go to District Central. And then go to area reports. That's the best I can do today, Renee.
that's fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so
And-
it's not hard, it's not hidden, you just have to know how to get there.
Can I share my screen for
Yeah.
about 30 seconds?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. There you go.
Because mine actually has it live, so you can basically select a club. And then when you create the report, it'll actually put you in the screen to schedule the visit. And then when you're done, it'll put them down here when you're done. I just happen to have everyone, so I'm not going to do any of these right now. But this will show up there for that. Okay,
Now-
that's all I
Okay.
want to share.
Great.
So Jeffrey, we'll talk about that, but I think it's best to email or call because.
Yeah.
Now, somebody asked,
In the District Central, are there also reports that I can get so that I can, for example, get a list of all the members in my area?
if you
Yes.
can't get that, I don't know if you can get that, but Jeff and.
Jeff can
Linda
get it for me?
you. They can get it
Okay.
for you.
Your division
then-
director can get it for you for sure because I just tested it out with Carrie earlier today.
Okay, thank
But
you.
it's not accurate today, it's not accurate right now.
That's also true.
Okay, makes sense.
Don't
Got
look
it.
at it now. Now, somebody asked about member payments. Oh, that's really confusing. So what's the question on, who asked that? Oh, our friend from District 70.
Wickham? Did
Wickham,
you
he
ask?
says- Oh, my.
Yes, I asked the question.
Yeah, so what, the numbers are as of July 1. So if somebody, I don't know about clubs chartered. So whatever members paid through June 30th will show up as your base number. Is that
Come get
correct?
Hurley and put him back in the laundry room.
Sorry, Jill. So whatever that number is, July 1, that's your number. And right, and it has to do with your October renewals. How many people renew in October? Wickham, does that make sense?
My question is, let's say, as example, if club chartered in May 15
Yes.
with 20 members, in Toastmaster International payment count, they count the 2 payment or 1 payment.
Right, but it
Payments
has-
for
Yeah,
plus
so it has,
due.
remember, there's 2 renewal periods. So there's October 1 by renewal. So they're set. So they still have to renew October 1. Their base is 20. They need to renew October 1 and again by April 1st.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
2.
referring to renewal. I'm asking the new club started in May 15th,
And they get 3.
and
Yeah.
they pay dues and new member fees. So I'm asking whether dues and new member fees calculated as 2 payments or 1 payment.
It doesn't count as any payments
No,
for this
I
year.
think
But
we,
it's last year's payments.
oh, okay. Hang on. Are you asking about the triple cap? Is it going to be
Oh, no,
plus
we're not
1,
talking
plus
about that.
1, plus 1? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes,
district
2.
level, not,
It's
it
2.
has not, that has nothing to do with the areas or divisions. That's a district issue. But none of the payments count for anything. And it just sets the base for areas and divisions. It's just the base number. The payment that happens before October 1 for renewals is all that matters. And for April 1 for the renewals then. Does that make sense, Wickham?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're asking a different question. And really, all those payments that happen in May, that happen for the 23-24, not for the new current year, doesn't count at all.
Thank you.
Just real quick. I just checked. The officer lists are current because my club's list is correct for this year.
Oh, I think
And-
the officer list would be correct.
As
But the
and
divisions and areas aren't correct. Maybe.
okay. In what
Maybe.
sense? And I'm looking at the officer list for clubs, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And just to kind of clarify, when you're an area director, you will eventually have access to everything for your area. Division directors have it for the divisions, and the trio have it for everyone.
And now Wickham, unlike a district, I want to say,
Thank you.
you said, is it total payments or 40? If you think that way, you can get in trouble because you could have 25 payments for October 1 and only 15 payments for April 1st, and the club wouldn't meet the number requirement. So think of it as a minimum of 20 or whatever their base number is for each. All right, I think I've covered this. It's a lot to cover. We'll do 2 or 3 more trainings and we can go over this in more detail. Sending this. So Jeffrey thinks because there was very few changes in District 57 alignment, that the information is current. and
I'm
all
just
the
saying
new
the office
officers are in.
information is current for the,
All right,
that was Renee's question.
I'll say that. Okay. Linda, I'm done for my section.
Okay. And so Alicia, I have you doing club visits next.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to touch on what we've just done, and I'm actually going to book one of my area visits so that you can see how we actually do it, because I have let one of the clubs know so that you can see how I booked the visit, why I booked the visit, when I booked the visit, and we'll also go through what is a good visit report look like versus what we really don't want to see and the trio don't want to see, because I'm sure that they will be seeing some of these type of reports over the next few weeks, months, and they have probably seen them in the past. We've all seen them no matter what. So I'll go back into where we've just jumped off, which was District Central. So I'll go back to the homepage. Let me just go here. So I'll click on my home just so that you familiarize yourselves with how to do this. So we scroll down to Leadership Central, click on District Central, Area Director Club Visit Reports. Just as a note, you must have 75% of your area director visits to be counted as a distinguished area. If you don't do that, both rounds, so the first round is from July 1st up until November 30th, and then the second round is January 1st up until May 31st. They will not be counted. You will not count and you will not become a distinguished area director. So please, 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 from the bottom of our hearts, especially from Jeff's point of view, and especially from Linda and Sally's point of view, please submit your area director reports. Don't leave them to November 30th and May 31st at 11:59 p.m. on the dot, because the system crashes. We know that it happens all the time. and you will not be able to submit your report. So just want to make that quite clear. So I'm going to create one for one of the clubs in my area. I'll click on Verbal Assassins, click create. I will book in the report for, they meet on a Tuesday, they meet on the 4th. So there's the 23rd. So I choose the date, make sure that you actually let the clubs know that you are booking a date. This club knows that I am attending, create the report. And then what will happen is an email will go through to yourself, and then also it will go through to the president of the club, as well as probably the district director is notified that this report will be happening. The reason for that is so that they know that you will be completing an official visit. All right, does anyone have any questions with creating a visit or being able to actually diarize the visit? Because this actually does get a bit confusing. No? Okay, all right. So I just want to talk a bit about the area director visit reports. I sort of touched on them before, and we also touched on them earlier on. They're part of what makes an area successful, you as an area director successful, but also providing feedback to the clubs. A good area director report is one that actually is the eyes, the ears for you as the district and telling the trio exactly what is happening. Some of the reasons that we do an area director visit is so that you can tell the trio what is actually happening. You can tell the clubs what they're doing well. You can actually provide feedback on how they can improve. One of the things is if the club is struggling and has less than 12 members and you provide an area director report, but you don't do it until say November 30th or May 31st, if you do it earlier on in the year, say around July, end of July, early August, you can actually be the reason for a club becoming successful, because you can actually help, a club come back from possible near death. I remember a few years back when I was serving as an area governor. This is when the days of when we called it area governor, it's now area director. And one of the area directors didn't submit his reports until the final day. His club, which we didn't know, had actually closed, had officially closed. Now, if he had actually made contact with the club earlier in, say, July or August, they could have actually had people go in and rescue the club. And that was one of the things. They could have actually had people go in, club coach be appointed, 1 or 2 club coaches appointed. So this is the reasons why we always say, please try and submit them at least by September the 15th. I prefer by August 31st, because you want to also have the period of payment, because we've got the new payments coming up for the period cycle between October 1st and March 31st. So you want to make sure that you get these in before then. And it also lets Jeff know for his count as a club growth director. It's a trickle-on effect for everyone here. It goes from the district level, from the trio level. It lets Sally know as the district director, as the CEO of the district, I guess you could say, gives her an overview, a painting of what is actually happening in the district. It allows Linda to know who is she going to lose for educational count, because she wants to become possibly, excellence in program quality. And she also needs to know where she can apply pathways and help with pathways and educationals for particular clubs who may be struggling. For Jeff, whose one of his main roles is actually to review all the area director reports and to actually take account, because that is one of the requirements as a club growth director, but also where he's going to have to actually patch up or try to build new clubs. This is so important for him. And also where he needs to put his emphasis on club coaches. That is something that's really important for him. For the division directors, that's where they're going to actually have to try and say, where am I actually going to have to fill in the new clubs as well? So this actually has a trickle-on effect, and it goes up and down each way. And then you also want to know exactly where you're going to be pushing for each, if you do lose a club, where you're going to actually have to push members into other clubs, etc. And this is why we say that the area director report is one of the most important parts of being an area director. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put into the chat box, and I do want people to stop and start me through this, because this is actually quite critical that we do this correctly. So I'll put the area director report into the chat. And I will open that up. I'm not going to go through the whole area director report because it is pretty, I'll be honest, it is quite long-winded, but I just want to give you an oversight. It's about 6 to 7 pages. And this is what you fill in. This is the PDF version, but I'm also going to show you a good version of how you write it versus what not to write. So you put in the club number, the visit date, and that's why you need to actually log the date before you actually go. Please do not show up on the doorstep on the day of the visit. Clubs do not like that. I know that from personal experience, and I know it from experience when I was a division director a couple of times. I usually got the phone call as a division director. Why is the area director showing up on the day without any prior notice? And they usually pick up the phone call either to one of the trio members or the division director, etc. With area director reports, everyone heard of Moments of Truth? I just want to make sure everyone's heard of Moments of Truth. If you haven't heard of Moments of Truth, please let me know, because hopefully all of you come from successful clubs or have had been in a club where you have delivered Moments of Truth. The area director report is based all around the educational item of Moments of Truth, the 6 pillars of success of Toastmasters. So that's first impressions, member orientation, fellowship, variety and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. So everything that you fill out in your area director report is pretty much based on Moments of Truth. It is Moments of Truth, so that it is that area to allow the clubs to know where they're shining versus where they need to actually develop as a club. Typically, you will actually be asked, what is your first impression? Now, we just don't want you to go in and say, the club was great, people were fun, etc. What we want to see is actually what you saw on the day. First impressions, did members come up and greet you? Did the president actually talk to you? If it's an in-person meeting, was the room well lit? Is it wheelchair accessible? Is it friendly environment? Did people actually want to be there? Did they have agendas, etc.? This is some of the things that you want to see, because that is what an excellent club does. They're usually the 10 out of 10 clubs will have all of that plus more. You will see a rating scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being you're absolutely the best in the world. My suggestion, do not tick 1 and do not tick 5. No club is going to be a number 1, and most clubs will not be a number 5. They will usually be between 2 and 4. If they're doing everything perfectly, yeah, maybe tick 5, but I don't think most clubs are not going to tick a 1 or a 5. Also, it can be quite offensive if you do tick a 1, because that's just saying you are not that great. I would suggest, if you're going to go between 2 at a 2, maybe having a discussion with the president, the VP or the VPM, whoever is your main contact at the club, to let them know that you will be low ranking them. And the reason for that is, and give them the reason why and give them the suggestions, just so that they know and understand why you're actually doing it, because you don't want to just go in and go tick 2, 2, 2, 2 and provide a written report. You actually want to have a conversation before you submit the report. I always made sure I had a conversation, submit the reports after I've had that conversation with the clubs. They've read what they've actually seen on the report. So there's a discussion and an open discussion before it's written, because what you might write might not be actually what they see in their eyes. I just want to put that out there. It has happened. So 1 to 5. Probably between 2 and 4. If the club is doing really well, a number 4 is what I would usually maximize it at. If they really need to improve, a 2, but having that discussion candidly with the clubs. I'm just going to scroll down because these are all pretty self-explanatory, but I do want to try and go right down the bottom to show you something that you want to see. Okay. So this is on page 6 of 7. So it's a 7-page report, as I said. One of the things that you want to focus on is, what are the goals for the next 6 months? So this is why I'm saying it's better to do it now, between July and August, the end of August. And the reason for it is to see if they're actually going to use those rooms of growth that you give them to apply so that when you go to the next period of 6-month chunk, that they've actually applied some of the feedback. So for example, if you suggest to them, if they're trying to grow their club, you suggest a speechcraft course or an open house meeting. Did they actually do that? Did they actually use the action item that you provided them with, especially say a speechcraft course? And from that, did they actually gain new members? And that's something that Jeff will probably look at, because speechcraft is one of our greatest secrets. It's one of our greatest ways of actually providing and getting new members through the door. And Jeff would like to know if that is successful so that he can actually put on workshops and educational presentations for speechcraft and how to run a successful speechcraft. There's a wonderful presenter who delivers on speechcraft, Cheryl Raj. So he might want to get her to come in and to deliver on it. So these are some of the things that you might want to look for when actually focusing in your area director report. Open house. Was the open house successful? How did they actually PR the open house meeting? So these are some of the items we're focusing on. Goals and milestones. Is there an anniversary? Is there an anniversary period that we need to focus on? Is the club turning something like 30, 40, 50 years of age, 5, 10? Is it a charter of 1 year? These are some milestones that we want to look at. How do we actually go there? Because say if the club is turning a year, I'm sure the district trio would love to attend. One of the members of the district trio would love to attend there, and to be, if it's an in-person, would love to go and actually be a part of it, etc. Did they have an educational night? Just looking at those type of things as well. Okay, it now has a diary where you can actually list events planned. So for example, open house, having a discussion with the top three, so the president, the VPE and the VPM, is what you need to do with this, especially all the VPPR as well. Open house, that would be between the VPM and the VPPR. But the president should be able to let you know. The VPE should be able to let you know if there's a speechcraft course going on. VPE should be able to let you know if there's a speakerthon going on. Any other event, the president should be able to let you know. This one's quite controversial, but I do have a discussion with a lot of the clubs in regards to it. Do they have any members that may be able to be your successor? And this is where I say trying to find your assistant area director usually actually comes from this. This is why I always try and find people's names so that you can find your successor as an area director. I remember a few years ago when I was an area director and I didn't name one of the people, it actually asked this question, name the successor. And one of the members of the club came to me, she said, "You didn't put my name on the list." And I said, "I didn't realize," and she was a secretary, that she wanted to be an area director. She ended up being the person that succeeded me because she was upset that I didn't put her name. So finding out, this is where you need to have a conversation with the members and getting to know the members more on a personal level. They may be interested in being an area director, and that's where you list them. And that's where Jeff, Linda, and Sally can find the future leaders of the district so that they can also plan for next year and for the future. That's one of the things I wanted to list as well. I'm now going to show you a good area director report versus a not so good area director report. This is based on a case study I did a few years ago when I was a program quality director in District 100. The club has given me permission to use this as an example. Share the screen. Okay, I do admit I write War and Peace when I deliver my area director reports, because I think about quality. What is a quality club? I'm always thinking about the district mission, and I'm also thinking about how can I actually serve the club, the members, and how can I actually make a difference to them as well. So I always tell exactly what I see and what I'm feeling. I do a lot of research before I let the people know when they're meeting, and the reason why is some clubs actually change their meeting times and days and dates. I also tell the format, because some might be meeting online versus in person, and they may not have that updated on Toastmasters International Finder Club or the district website. I found that happening. What's actually happening and what time it is. Were people participating? Was there laughter? Was there fun? What is actually happening at the meeting? because remember, you are the eyes and the ears of the district, but you're also there as a member and watching what a club is doing. Do I want to be a part of this club? That's another question you want to ask yourself. Do I want to be a part of this? Would I want to be a part of this club? What is actually happening? Do they have an agenda? Is the agenda filled? Do they encourage visitors to come? Do they encourage the visitors to speak? I always say, is the visitor asked at the beginning and the end of the meeting to participate? Are they asked to do a table topic? What is actually happening at a meeting? I know it's a little bit information overload with some of the details that I've gone into, but I gave this club a number 4 because it was a high quality club, because the meetings were, and it is a President's Distinguished Club. I want to know if they're doing pathways. It's our educational system. We can't go back in time. It is our educational system. What pathways levels are they doing? I'm sure our club growth director and program quality director would love to know what educationals these clubs are achieving, so that they can see also, and so that you can see and the division director can see for the future, are they going to get tick goals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the DCP, Distinguished Club Program? What are they actually doing to achieve? Do they have a mentoring program? Some of the most successful clubs in the world have mentoring programs, have official mentoring programs. What are they doing at their club to be excellent, to have that second part as a quality club? Did they exceed expectations? Did they meet the 3 requirements? The 3 requirements of a Toastmasters meeting. Someone shouted out to me. Come on, guys. Active participation. Okay. Since no one wants to actively participate, I'll tell you, you need to have table topics. You need to have speeches, and you need to have evaluations. Those are the 3 requirements that you need to have at any Toastmasters meeting. If you're not seeing that, you need to report that in your report, and you also need to let your clubs know why are they not having. They might have a special night where they're only doing table topics. Okay, that's fine. But if that becomes a consistency, that is something that needs to be picked up, so that you can try and help them get speakers and speeches. Because if they consistently are not doing speeches, they're going to lose members and you're going to lose a club. It happens quite often. So you want to make sure that you're actually seeing them deliver on that. You're also wanting to see that they're actually using the brand, the Toastmasters International brand, correctly. We don't want to see pictures of the Toastmasters, and I've seen it so many times on some agendas. The brand, I've seen his, Superman ripping his shirt up, and there's the Toastmasters symbol. We don't want to see that on the agenda either. Yep. So these are some of the things that we don't want to see, but we just want to see overall what is happening. Are they having a quality meeting? So that is what a quality area director report looks like. Now I'm going to show you a not so good quality area director report. And I've seen a lot of these. In fact, I've seen many of these. It's just to tick the box. And some people don't even say if they're going to the Toastmasters meeting, they just do this just to fill in the blanks, to try and just tick a box. As you can see, people saying assign roles and ask members to attend. There's no quality there. There's no action item. You're not showing exactly what you're doing. You're not showing if you've actually physically attended or virtually attended. What is the club actually doing? So if I ask someone, Aaron, if you were a president and you saw an area director report that's had something very minor and basic like this, how would you honestly feel? If you want to unmute yourself too.
Do you want me to answer something?
Yeah. How would you feel if you saw an area director report that was...
Sure. So after last year for the area director, I joined the club ambassador from also your club too. So I go in there, talk to you, and sometimes email back and forth, and then asking for the common, like from your club plan, And then
No. Oh, sorry. Let me reframe the question. If you saw an area director report like this, how would you feel as a club president?
Like they had no idea what I was doing. Like they weren't there, that they filled out the report and didn't even show up at the meeting.
Yeah, I actually had an area director report like this, and this is where I've copied and pasted it from a few years ago, exactly like this. I was not happy. And the president actually called me up and said, "What the hell?" And I had to, go through and explain. We don't want to see this type of report. We want to see that you've actually put some effort in, and the trio wants to see, especially Jeff and Linda, they want to see that you actually care. They don't want to just see do club success plan. They want to see complete the club success plan and how you're going to help them complete the club success plan. I think so. I don't know if that's going to help them anyway either. So I will put this into the chat box and give you as an example. But yeah, I got 2 like this. I was not happy. And as you can imagine, the presidents were not happy either. And it really did not set a good example for that area director, and it did not set them up for success, and they did not have a relationship with those clubs, because that was what they provided on November the 30th of their year at the last minute. I'm just going to quickly go into the chat box because I am going to wrap up my session shortly. Area director reports are done twice a year. So you do 2 official visits, July 1st and between July 1st and November 30th is the first round. And then the second round is January the 1st until May 31st. Please do not leave it to the last month. We've told you the reasons why, because Jeff doesn't want to lose clubs at the last minute and not know in the future what was happened in the past. We want them done ASAP. And when you do them, probably do them within 24 hours. Once you've done your visit, go home, have a think about, write notes, and then come back maybe the next day, write it out on the PDF version, and then send it to the club. If you have a relationship with the club, you can submit. That's what I always say. If you have an okay relationship with the club, you can submit prior. But I would always say send it to the president, the VP, and the VPM. Let them have a look, provide their feedback. Once they've given the green light and they're ready to go, then you click submit. Don't leave it to the last moment. And also with the area director report, please be patient. It does take a couple of times before it takes about 10 to 15 minutes before you can copy paste and do what you need to do, and hit save after each page. You don't want to lose your information. That's the big rule of thumb, because you do lose a lot of information in that first round. It does, if you don't hit save, it does drop out after, I think, about 15 to 20 minutes. That was the last time I did one. Does anyone have any questions regarding area director reports?
Yes, I do. It's about
Yes.
scheduling the time. I
Yep.
had one club last year who, despite emails and asking them what dates they prefer, they just did not want me there. They didn't feel, they had not had an area report, and they thought
Oh.
it was the Gestapo coming down on them from a great height. It didn't matter how much time I took to explain what the purpose was. They just didn't want to schedule an appointment. So in the end, I had used a previous visit as an example for my area report, which obviously is not the best way. So my question is, how do you go about scheduling the date?
Okay,
And how
that's a good
successful it's
question.
been?
Yeah, and it's all about sensitivities and how we handle sensitivities with clubs. Did you have a relationship with any of the people on the executive or any of the members at the club? This is I always go, who do I have a relationship with at the club that I can get along with? And then I work through them. That's your best thing. Who's your champion at your club?
I think they're more or less afraid of having one because they hadn't had one
Okay.
for a long time. And the president wasn't very experienced.
Yep.
And they just kept putting it off. And it came to May, and I thought I have to use a previous visit.
Yeah,
So as I
absolutely.
said, it's about the perception and the culture. as
Yeah,
opposed
absolutely.
to, as to what this thing is, because they just never had one before for a while. Just my feedback.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Sometimes clubs are very, like, if they've had one bad experience, and I remember when I was an area director back in the day, back in Sydney, there was one particular club that did not have a good experience with area directors. They had one bad report, as you have mentioned in the past, or had one bad experience, and then that was it. However, when I sat them down and explained I was here to help them, I was here to guide them and assist them, I was here to make their experience as best as possible. And I said, I want your feedback. That's why I always say I want your feedback before I submit. Give them the permission to allow you to submit that report as well. I gave them that permission. I let them read it first. And then once we were all happy, then I submitted the report. And then that created a really nice effect to actually succeed for the future. So having a chat with them, maybe pulling them aside if they don't go to the area council meeting, having a chat with them on the side. But yes, anyway, I have seen the red light. I need to hand back to Linda. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Alicia, so very, very much. This was a wonderful discussion. And I have one real quick story before I turn this over to Rose, who's going to give us some insights from the regional advisor perspective. I had a club up in far northern California. I'm here in Columbus, and I called and I tried to set in a meeting, couldn't get a hold of them and whatever, and I ended up writing the report. And they got a message from TI because their Find a Club information wasn't up to date. So we didn't have a good email, we didn't have a good phone number, we had nothing. And he writes me back and he says, "We're here, what's your problem?" And I said, "Great, I'm going to come visit. When can we make that happen?" And he said, "How about this date?" I said, "Great, send me a Zoom link." He goes, "Oh, we're in person only." I went, "Okay." So I sent another area director to go, and he drives up, there are cars in the parking lot. He knocks on the door, nobody answers. He bangs on the door, he calls, nobody answers. So he says to me, "What do?" I said, "You go home, the report stands." So it is a two-way street between you and the club. And you got to do what you got to do. So thank you so much, Alicia. This was so important. Those area director reports are invaluable information that you get on your clubs, and that we at the higher level also get a sense of what's going on in the district as a whole. Thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce our very own regional advisor, Rose Curlin. She's been with me my whole TRIO journey. And she wanted to share some best practices and some wisdom from the regional advisor perspective. Rose?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want to address right away the fear of clubs having an area director visit. And it starts at the district leadership level. And that is, we are not the inspector general. We are not the police. We are not there to spank you or tell you what you didn't do right or wrong on your hands. Once your clubs know that you are a friendly visitor, that you are on their team, that they are part of your team, it will help ease the tension. Because as life goes, many people don't realize that we're not there to tattle. We're not there to point out all the things you're not doing. We're there to support you in your progress. And some of the things that I did when I was an area director is that I made the phone call to a club officer, typically the president, and I made a meet and greet initially. And I saw in the chat, someone has suggested that your initial visit to the club should not be, "I'm here to take notes, I'm here to give a report," but it should be, "I'm here and I'd like to be part of your family. I'd like to be part of your group, and I'm here to help you and be the ear to communicate your concerns to the district." So that is practical tip number one. Start from that premise and put yourself in the member's shoes. when we hear, oh, we're having a visitor, what does mom and dad or somebody in the household tell us to do? Hurry up and clean up, hide everything in the closet. We can't let them see what we really are like. So get to build a relationship, and Michael will go over team building in a little bit. We all know what the district mission is, correct? And we all can repeat it by heart because we know this by heart. And that is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. I'm not sure, you don't have to raise your hand. You can put it in chat if you did. How many of you attended the Club Excellence webinar that was given a few days ago by the Board of Directors? Last term, the Board of Directors had a Building Clubs initiative that is put into Basecamp, which all area directors need to become familiar with. If you're already familiar with it, bravo. If you're not, this is tip number 2. Go to your Basecamp and review the Building Clubs initiative. It will help you have a little better understanding of your role and your struggling situations that you might have with your clubs. This term, the Board of Directors have executed the second part of our district mission, and that is support all clubs in achieving excellence with the Club Excellence Initiative. If you have not been to that, just let Linda know, and I'll be happy to send Linda the recordings when it comes out July 15th so that she can distribute it to you and you can have that. This term of Club Excellence, Toastmasters International will have a separate site in the Toastmasters International website that will have everything in one place about Club Excellence. You know, I'm sure none of you have experienced this, but I sometimes go into the Toastmasters website and I type in search, and then I never get what I really am searching for. I'm sure you've never had that problem, right? And Linda's like, oh, well, this is why Toastmasters International Board of Directors, and Michael can attest to this, is making progress on what members really need to help us go through our growth process. And they have and are working on one link in that TI website that you can find everything and anything you want to know about Club Excellence. So now we understand, we all know it by heart, that the district must be the one to take the initiative in acquainting clubs with all the activities, with the services, with the assistance that's not only being offered by our district, but by Toastmasters International. And collectively, guess who's the direct IV bloodline to the clubs, to the members? Yes, you are correct. The division and area directors. You are the direct line of communication to our members. And I can say that I am looking forward to our area director visit because I am an active member of 2 clubs in District 57. So I am more than just the region advisor. I am a member that's looking forward to your assistance and your visits as area directors. So now we heard earlier in the DEC meeting, Mike Natoro spoke about marathon, the Olympics, and everything that we do that's that big of a project or that takes us wanting to reach our goal to be successful. It takes preparation, right? It takes being proactive. So I'm going to leave you with some tips about proactivity. As an area director, I'm sure you've already done this. You've downloaded the District Leadership Handbook, and you've read the part of the District Leadership Handbook that says area directors' roles and responsibilities, right? Don't put it into chat, don't raise your hand, but if you need the link, I'm sure Jeff or someone will drop the link into the chat. And that is the first thing, because when you read that handbook, it will really help you grasp some of the responsibilities and help you understand your accountability, not only to yourself. I want to congratulate you before it gets too late in the day. Congratulations on investing in your greater, better future, because you're investing in your continuing education, knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you can help someone. Tip number 2, as it was mentioned in your training about the area visit report, it is all about the moments of truth, the 6 pillars of the moments of truth. I'm sure you have downloaded the Moments of Truth handbook and you have read everything about it. That will equip you for this marathon. Don't raise your hand, don't put it in chat. I know you are probably going to work on it if you have not had a chance to do that. And I'm sure Jeff will drop into the chat a link for the Moments of Truth. The last and final thing I want to say is that you are not alone in this. This is why you have your division directors. This is why you have each other in the division as peers. Linda comes to peer calls so that she can get better at having do well in her role and also serving you. And in those peer calls, right? Linda, I mean, do you interact and share? And there are sometimes so many different ideas that pass by, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It
Yes,
is.
and
It's
some
a
things we
wealth
don't
of
even think
information.
about.
Yeah.
Right? So work with your peers. Now, the reality is that many times we do not get the attendance that we would want from when we do an area council. But be resilient and be tenacious and set it up, because you just never know that someone may show up, and whatever best tips you practices tips you were given about how that can be successful, consider that. Also consider this: every club, every organization is diverse. Diversity is a very important thing in any business, in any volunteer organization. The diversity I share is that something that one of us brought up. Don't understand why they won't have us here, etc. It's not only the physical differences that we see, but the invisible diversity that's there. Help yourself get to learn, and through your sensitivity that we all are, and help your fellow humans help you understand. So for example, a script that I use many times in many trainings over the past years is, could you share something with me that would help me have a clearer understanding of your expectations? Can you share something with me that will help me be better for you? Because as we learn in Region Advisor world, you are the guide on the side. You are not the sage on the stage. The important thing is your members, right? We are the guide for them. We are not, I do this, I would do that, etc. That seems like something you would want to try. Anybody else have other ideas to build on that? So that kind of collaborative, if you need extra training, Linda knows how to reach me. I'm happy to share some of those ways to build collaborativeness among your team. The bottom line is you are also going to share exciting activities, and that is speech contests, things like that. You're going to share exciting activities that's going on with the district. And so you want to be a friend first. Building relationships, which Michael will go into building teams, is very important. The one reason why in both times I've served in leadership, we were distinguished is because the bond of trust. And trust only comes in relationships. Say what you're going to do and do what you say you're going to do. Stay committed so that they know they can trust you, and that they know that when it's time to be confidential, they can trust you. So they know that when they ask for help, they can trust you, that you're not just going to forget about it and not seek the help. I just wanted to close by saying that you're off to a great start, because one, you took the time today. You could have done anything today on Saturday, right? But you took the time today to invest because you care about your fellow humans, right? You are sensitive, and now you know, hey, diversity isn't only what we see in front of us. but someone could be going through some internal things that are not open to us. So start there with, how would you feel if someone came to your club with the posture that I'm here to inspect and I'm going to tell you how good or how not good you are? Even if you never said that, people get that feeling. And it is a frightening feeling, right? I mean, I see Anna Marie giggling, but I just wanted to share a little bit about that. There's a lot that we can go into, but I'm sure Michael will share a lot more about how to start finding your team members and how to start building them. Your number one team are going to be your clubs in your area. Get them on your side by first being on their side. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Rose, so very, very, very much. And what you're saying is so absolutely very important, but we promised that we'd only be here for 2 hours. And we are at 7:58 my time. I'm in Columbus. So we've got 2 topics already for a second session. One is building teams. The second is Ashley Harkness, part 2. More on starting new clubs. What I am going to send out an evaluation. I would like to know from you what went well, what didn't go so well. What would you like to do next time? What are the topics that you'd like to hear from us about? Or would you like to be able to have some discussion among yourselves as far as what's working, what isn't working, what ideas do you have, all of that good stuff. So I know it's okay with Michael. Alicia, is it okay with you? Okay, great. Jeff, thumbs up. Awesome. So with that, I think this has been an outstanding area director, division director training. I've learned a lot. I know you all have as well. Our trainers and facilitators are spectacular, and we couldn't have asked for anyone better to do this work. Any questions or whatever, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know what else you want. I see Anne-Marie came through and wants more dashboard analysis, please. Absolutely, we'll put that on our list. So with that, it's 5 o'clock your time, it's 8 o'clock my time. And with that, I thank you very much and have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.